10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You can start seeing it glowing red. The real heat shield gets up to about 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit, which we're not going to do today, but we are going to get it to a couple of hundred degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going pretty good now. Curtis, why don't you touch the back surface of that? What does it feel like? Nice and cool, he says. Which is just how we like it. Keeping the spacecraft cool.